I was very fortunate to be one of the 100 or so people to take part in the Marine Debris Removal Initiative expedition along BC's north central coast this year. Each of the 2 3-week expeditions involved a dozen crews of 3 or 4 people working from 9 ships that are normally used for ecotourism. The first 2 weeks of each expedition were spent landing on remote shorelines and scouring them for debris. We picked up pop bottles and massive fishing nets and everything in between. We loaded it all into big bags, which would be lifted out by helicopter. The final week, crews of 2 returned to each lift site. Helicopter time is expensive, so the chopper's movements were precisely coordinated. Sometimes we waited hours at our site for our few minutes of excitement, slinging the bag. We had weighed everything going into the bags, and we had recorded the total weight of each bag. This was really important to save flying time, because if possible, we wanted the helicopter to be able to pick up more than 1 bag at a time. Here, you can see the helicopters coming in from one of the shoreline lift sites, carrying a bag straight into another lift site to pick up more load before taking the whole thing back to the barge. Some of our shoreline lift sites were really hard for us to access. We'd had to leave the bags as high up as possible so the tide wouldn't get them while we were away, so often we were perched way up high on rocks or on really unstable loads of driftwood. Sometimes we weren't able to leave the debris on shore, so we brought it back to Cascadia, the largest ship of the fleet, and we conducted heli lifting operations straight off the stern of the ship. Oof, that one looks like a heavy one. It was super impressive watching the pilot, Jason from Airspan Helicopters, working. He would drop the rope right to where we needed it, and when he brought the load back to the barge, he would drop it exactly where he wanted it to go. Work during the heli-ops was pretty much non-stop. The only time things paused for a moment is if the helicopter needed to come down to refuel. Sometimes when we were working, the barge was anchored in sheltered coves, but we also worked when the whole fleet was on the move as we traveled down the coast. This was late September and the days were getting shorter, so we really pushed the flying time, starting at first light and going right through until dusk. Our motto became "No bag left behind," and in the end, we did it. Thanks to the MDRI organizers, the 100 or so crew members, and all of our sponsors and partners and supporters, we ended up removing 127 tons of debris from British Columbia's shorelines.